Okay, Melissa, part two. So we were just talking about the effect, the all white capitals, shouty capitals. Don't say that, but that's what they are. Um, the only writing on the page. So again, just use the technical language. The only text on the advertisement. Target audience sees this first. Is that what they see first, or do they see the beautiful Beyonce? Um, but you need to talk about the layout. How is it positioned? So think about the rule. How it's been laid out on the page. Let me go back. Think of the rule of thirds. How has it been? So what they say is that you want your most information in the middle third. So that's kind of, yep, we've got refreshingly better, and we've got Beyonce's sexy, sexy nose and mouth, and her breasts. All of this is sort of in our sight line here. And the silhouette of this bottle, the way it's been positioned, and it's cut out, it's the silhouette of the white against the red background, which highlights this curvy silhouette. So you need to do more about this, colour and lighting. And they've used special effects, haven't they? You could even talk about how her hair sort of is the colour of Coca-Cola. Here, I think you talked about eye contact, yes, and looking directly at the camera, just as Beyonce is. So these are similarities. Both the models, or the celebrity and the model used in the advertisements, we have point of view camera angle, so that we are directly looking at them, and they have been positioned so they're making eye contact directly with their target audience, and what the effect of that is. They both are dressed in red figure-hugging costume, which is all about brand enhancement, brand recognition, and they're probably both incredibly beautiful for the era. So you need to do a little bit more. You need to go back to the elements of visual language. You've done a fairly good job, but you've got to make it a bit more concise and really highlight that technical language. Go back to the visual elements handout. Go back to the examples of the annotated advertisements that are attached to it, and use those to help you with more concise and more sophisticated analysis. You should also make sure that you're using the document that is entitled "Read Me!" It's on the first week that we started the media study, and it's examples of language for analysis. And I've got lots of examples there to help you. So the advertiser's use of eye level and the mid shot have the effect of making the viewer feel. Now, what does it make? Feel connected, feel close to the model, almost as if they were there with them. Once again, this engages the viewer more closely with the product. I'm reading that directly from that resource, Melissa. No one has used it. It's kind of depressing. So please be my favorite student. Go and use it. Make use of it. So you need to do a little bit more of that. I'd like to have beauty and social standing and the celebrity endorsement, talk about body language, camera shots and angles, and layout and graphics, lighting and color. You should have all of those technical names for techniques in this section. So you can go and tidy all of this up. And I've just highlighted some of the yellow bits here. It's all a bit wordy. Recognizable white stripe running down the side, similarly to what a Coke can would have. Well, what you're saying here is it's the famous Coca-Cola stripe. Okay, so that's what you need to be aiming for. So you've done pretty good analysis. I just need you to make sure that you're sort of introducing each technique as a topic sentence in its own right. And I think the two ads are quite similar in the way that they're using these techniques, but to create a different connection. One is of fun and sociability, and the other of sort of strong, independent, and refreshing. And that one is more sexy. So a few little tips there. Language features. You need to do more on this. What you've basically said is they don't use much. But what you're saying here is that both advertisements focus. Well, I think actually it's slightly different. The first one does have the language that they use really does reinforce this idea of fun, and you'll have more fun with more Coca-Cola, and if you have more Coca-Cola, then you'll have more friends. So it's appealing to this value of popularity and fun and happiness. Look back on the printout of the values and desires that I gave everybody, and it's also on the PowerPoint. Now, you're just being too wordy. Would not bother standing around to read the information. You just what you're saying is advertisers with print advertisements have a very limited, a very short time frame in order to maximize the audience's attention. Okay, in order to grab the attention and convey their message in a very short period of time. But you haven't actually analyzed the text that there is, because they both use slogans. So you need to go back and you need to do that. If it helps, what you could do is actually join visual elements and language features in one heading. So when you talk about the font and the capital letters, you can actually analyze the language within that section. That might actually work pretty well here. All right, conclusion. Please cut out all I feel or I think or etc. We just don't do that in English in Year 12 or in even Year 11. What you need to be doing here is, I think here you need, the criteria is, let me find it, knowledge and understanding of ways in which texts are created for different purposes, audiences and context. So you've addressed that in your social context. But what you are showing here, analysis, evaluation of how language features, stylistic and conventions, how they influence all. So that's AN2. What I think you need to show understanding of is that perhaps for you, your generation, the second one would be more effective because effectively you are the target audience. But what it shows is how far advertising has come in the past 60 years. The use of special effects, digitally enhanced image appeals to you because you're of this generation. These are the kind of images that you are used to. So is it a stronger message? Is it because the celebrity that they've used is such a strong endorsement for the product? So here you just maybe pick out which techniques you think are the most effective. And for that reason, this advertisement is the most successful. However, it needs to be understood that this is from the point of view of a member of this generation. Okay, so Melissa, I hope this helps. Bit of work to be done, but that will be fine. Let me know if you have any questions, and happy drafting.